In the vast icy wilderness of the Arctic, two formidable predators reign supreme. Here, the endless expanse of frozen sea ice stretches to the horizon, broken only by the occasional jagged floe or the dark, mysterious leads of open water. Beneath the pale, shifting light of the polar day and the endless night, a silent drama unfolds, one that has shaped the destinies of these ancient titans for millennia. One walks the frozen sea ice, a powerful and iconic symbol of the North, the polar bear. With its massive paws adapted for both swimming and traversing the slick, treacherous ice, the polar bear is the undisputed monarch of this frozen realm. Its thick fur and dense layer of blubber shield it from the biting cold, while its keen sense of smell allows it to detect prey from miles away, even beneath the snow and ice. The other glides through the crushing dark depths below, a creature of myth and mystery, the Greenland shark. Nearly blind, moving with a slow, ghostly grace, this ancient predator is perfectly adapted to the frigid, oxygen-rich waters beneath the ice. Its skin is rough and armored, its body massive and powerful, capable of living for centuries in the silent gloom. For centuries their worlds seemed entirely separate, divided by the solid barrier of ice and the profound darkness of the deep ocean. The polar bear, master of the surface, stalked seals and traversed the shifting ice, while the Greenland shark haunted the abyss, feeding on whatever the cold currents delivered. Yet, in this harsh and unforgiving environment, the boundaries between hunter and hunted are never absolute. The polar bear, an apex predator on land and ice, has few natural enemies. Its immense strength and cunning make it a formidable force, capable of taking down seals with a single crushing blow. But even the king of the ice is not invulnerable. The Greenland shark, a silent and slow-moving giant, was long thought to be a sluggish scavenger, content with whatever carrion drifted down from the world above. But beneath its placid exterior lies a predator of remarkable patience and stealth, capable of ambushing prey in the pitch-black depths or scavenging the remains of those who have fallen victim to the Arctic's many dangers. In rare, shadowy encounters, the fates of these two giants intertwine. Sometimes a polar bear weakened by hunger or age may slip beneath the ice, its body claimed by the cold and the darkness. There the Greenland shark waits, drawn by the scent of flesh, ready to consume what the ice has surrendered. In these moments, the line between hunter and hunted blurs, and the ancient cycle of life and death continues. Could it be possible that this slow, almost blind shark is capable of hunting and killing one of the most powerful land predators on Earth? Or is it simply a patient opportunist, feasting on the remains of those who could not survive the Arctic's relentless trials? The evidence, scattered across the ice and hidden in the depths, suggests a more complex and direct relationship between these two Arctic titans than anyone had previously imagined. The image of the Greenland shark as a mere bottom feeder begins to crumble, replaced by the unsettling possibility of an active, ambitious predator. The Arctic is a place of constant change, where survival demands adaptation and cunning. As the ice melts and the boundaries between land and sea blur, the encounters between polar bears and Greenland sharks may become more frequent, more dramatic, and more deadly. In this frozen theatre, every encounter is a test of strength, endurance, and will. The story of the polar bear and the Greenland shark is more than just a question of who eats whom. It is a profound narrative about survival, adaptation, and the hidden dramas that unfold in one of the planet's most extreme environments. In the end, the Arctic remains a realm of mystery, where the hunter and the hunted are bound together by the unyielding forces of nature, each playing their part in the eternal cycle of life and death beneath the northern lights. Deep beneath the icy surface of the Arctic, a remarkable creature glides through the shadows, a relic from a distant past. The Greenland shark, known to science as Somniosus microcephalus, or the small-headed sleepy one, is a living testament to the endurance of life in one of Earth's harshest environments. This species is often called a living fossil, not only because of its ancient appearance, but because its lineage stretches back over 100 million years, surviving the rise and fall of the dinosaurs and the shifting of continents. The ancestors of the Greenland shark first appeared during the Cretaceous period, evolving alongside marine reptiles and early birds. Over countless millennia, these sharks have changed little, their bodies perfectly adapted to the cold, deep waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. The Greenland shark's thick, cylindrical body is coloured a mottled greyish-brown, providing camouflage in the dim, murky depths it inhabits. Its skin, rough and ancient in texture, is covered in dermal denticles, tiny tooth-like scales that reduce drag and allow it to move with ghostly silence. These dermal denticles are a hallmark of ancient sharks, a trait passed down through eons, helping the Greenland shark conserve energy as it glides through the frigid water. One of the most distinctive features of this species is its small, almost vestigial eyes. Over time, the Greenland shark has adapted to a world where light barely penetrates, relying less on vision and more on other senses. A unique relationship has developed between the shark and a pale, worm-like copepod known as Omatocoita elongata, which attaches itself directly to the shark's cornea. This parasite can grow several inches long, often impairing or even destroying the shark's vision. Yet in the perpetual darkness of the deep sight is not the most vital sense. For generations, it was believed that most adult Greenland sharks were rendered nearly blind by these parasites, but their survival reveals a remarkable adaptation. In the pitch-black world of the Arctic deep, the Greenland shark relies on an extraordinarily keen sense of smell, detecting the faintest traces of prey or carrion from miles away. This heightened olfactory ability is a product of evolutionary pressures, allowing the shark to thrive where few others can. The Greenland shark is also known as the sleeper shark, a name that reflects its incredibly slow and deliberate movements. It is one of the slowest moving sharks in the world, rarely exceeding 2 miles per hour. This unhurried pace is not a weakness, but a vital adaptation. In the near-freezing waters of the Arctic, conserving energy is essential for survival. The shark's metabolism is among the slowest of any vertebrate, a trait that allows it to endure the cold and scarcity of food in its environment. This slow metabolism is directly linked to the Greenland shark's most astonishing trait, its extraordinary lifespan. The Greenland shark is the longest living vertebrate known to science, with individuals estimated to live for over 400 years. Some may have been alive before the founding of modern nations, silently traversing the depths as centuries passed above. This incredible longevity is a product of its slow growth, low metabolism, and the stable, cold environment it inhabits, traits that have remained unchanged for millions of years. Despite its reputation for sluggishness, the Greenland shark is capable of sudden bursts of speed when necessary, a reminder of its predatory heritage. Its mouth is armed with rows of sharp, specialized teeth. The upper teeth are narrow and pointed, perfect for gripping, while the lower teeth are broad and saw-like, designed for slicing through flesh. These unique dental adaptations allow the Greenland shark to feed on a variety of prey, from fish to seals and even large carrion. When feeding, the shark can latch onto its food and roll its body in a powerful twisting motion, carving out large chunks of flesh, a technique that has persisted through its evolutionary history. This method leaves behind distinctive spiral wounds, earning the Greenland shark the nickname corkscrew killer among those who study its prey. Far from being a mere scavenger, the Greenland shark is a formidable predator, shaped by millions of years of evolution to survive and thrive in the most forbidding waters on Earth. Its story is one of endurance, adaptation, and the quiet persistence of life across the ages. The Greenland shark and the polar bear are creatures of the extreme cold. The Greenland shark's home is the deep, dark waters of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, from the coasts of Canada and Greenland to the icy seas north of Scandinavia and Russia. The polar bear, on the other hand, roams the sea ice and coastal regions of the Arctic from Alaska to Norway, while Greenland sharks are sometimes found in shallower waters during the winter months. They spend most of their lives at incredible depths, having been recorded as far down as 8,000 feet below the surface. Polar bears, in contrast, are often seen traversing the ice floes, hunting seals and other marine mammals. In the deep ocean, the pressure is immense, the sunlight never penetrates, and the water temperature is a stable, near-freezing 28 to 44 degrees Fahrenheit. On the surface, polar bears face frigid air temperatures, shifting ice, and the constant search for food. Both species thrive in these hostile environments, having evolved remarkable adaptations to master their challenging worlds. One of the Greenland shark's most crucial adaptations lies within its very flesh. The polar bear, too, has developed unique physical traits to survive. The tissues of the Greenland shark contain high concentrations of two chemical compounds, urea and trimethylamine N-oxide, or TMAO. These compounds work together as a natural antifreeze, preventing ice crystals from forming in the shark's cells in the sub-zero water temperatures. Polar bears, on the other hand, rely on their thick fur and a layer of blubber to insulate against the cold. This chemical cocktail also serves another purpose for the Greenland shark, making it neutrally buoyant, allowing it to hang effortlessly in the water column without expending energy to stay afloat or sink. Polar bears, meanwhile, have large, powerful limbs and paws that make them excellent swimmers, capable of covering vast distances in search of food. However, these adaptations come with challenges. The Greenland shark's slow metabolism and the polar bear's high caloric needs mean both must be efficient hunters in their respective domains. Life in the abyss has shaped every aspect of the Greenland shark's existence, from its biochemistry to its behavior. Similarly, the harsh Arctic environment has sculpted the polar bear into a formidable predator. The darkness has made the Greenland shark's sense of sight secondary to its powerful sense of smell. Polar bears also rely heavily on their sense of smell, capable of detecting seals nearly a mile away and beneath several feet of compacted snow. The cold has slowed the Greenland shark's metabolism to a crawl, dictating its unhurried pace and contributing to its incredible longevity. Polar bears, too, conserve energy by moving slowly and resting frequently, especially when food is scarce. The constant pressure and lack of resources have favored a strategy of energy conservation and opportunistic feeding for the Greenland shark. Polar bears exhibit similar behavior, often scavenging carcasses and consuming a wide variety of prey. Both the Greenland shark and the polar bear are sculpted by their environments, perfect examples of life finding a way to flourish in one of the most inhospitable places on our planet. They are silent sovereigns of a dark, cold kingdom that we are only just beginning to understand. The most mind-boggling fact about the Greenland shark is not its size or its strange shadowy habitat, but its astonishing lifespan, an enigma that has captivated scientists for decades. This mysterious creature is the undisputed Methuselah of the vertebrate world, capable of living for centuries and perhaps even longer than any other known vertebrate on Earth. For a long time, the true age of the Greenland shark was a complete mystery. Unlike other fish, which can be aged by counting growth rings in their ear bones or vertebrae, much like counting rings on a tree, the Greenland shark's anatomy posed a unique challenge. The Greenland shark has a soft, cartilaginous skeleton with no hard structures to analyze, leaving scientists searching for alternative methods to unlock the secrets of its longevity. The breakthrough came in 2016 when a team of researchers led by Julius Nielsen used a novel technique, radiocarbon dating of the proteins within the shark's eye lenses. These proteins form during embryonic development and remain unchanged for the rest of the animal's life, acting as a biological time capsule. By measuring the levels of carbon-14, a radioactive isotope introduced into the environment during above-ground nuclear weapons testing in the 1950s and 60s, Scientists could pinpoint when the shark was born. The smallest sharks in the study had high levels of this isotope, indicating they were born after the so-called bomb pulse. The largest sharks, however, showed no such signature, meaning they were born long before this era. Using this information, the researchers constructed a growth curve and calculated the ages of the sharks. The results were staggering. The largest female, measuring over 16 feet long, was estimated to be nearly 4 centuries old, possibly as old as 512 years. This means that some Greenland sharks alive today were already swimming in the Arctic depths during the time of Shakespeare, the founding of the Jamestown colony, and the reign of the Ming dynasty in China. This discovery completely rewrote our understanding of longevity in the animal kingdom, establishing the Greenland shark as the longest living vertebrate by a margin of centuries. But what biological mechanisms allow for such extreme longevity? Scientists believe that the Greenland shark's slow metabolism is a key factor. Living in the near-freezing waters of the Arctic, their body temperature and metabolic rate are among the lowest of any vertebrate. This slow pace of life means their cells accumulate damage at a much slower rate, potentially delaying the onset of age-related diseases. Recent studies have also suggested that Greenland sharks may possess unique genetic adaptations for DNA repair and cellular maintenance, further protecting them from the ravages of time. Their tissues show remarkable resistance to oxidative stress, a major contributor to aging in most animals. When compared to other long-lived species, the Greenland shark stands alone. The bowhead whale, another Arctic giant, can live over 200 years. The Galapagos tortoise may reach 150, but the Greenland shark's lifespan dwarfs them all, making it a true outlier in the natural world. This extreme longevity has profound implications for the shark's life cycle. Greenland sharks grow at an incredibly slow rate, perhaps less than half an inch per year, and do not reach sexual maturity until they are between 100 and 150 years old. Imagine an animal that must wait over a century just to be able to reproduce. This slow-paced life history makes the species incredibly vulnerable to environmental changes and population decline. A population once depleted could take many centuries to recover. The Greenland shark is not living on a human timescale. It is living on a geological one. A slow, ancient life in a world that is now changing faster than ever before. The mystery of its longevity continues to inspire awe and reminds us of the deep, ancient rhythms that still pulse beneath the Arctic ice. The Arctic is a realm of extremes, and its apex predators, the Greenland shark and the polar bear, have evolved remarkable dietary strategies to survive in this harsh environment. Their diets, hunting methods, and ecological impacts are as complex and intertwined as the icy world they inhabit. The Greenland shark, long considered a sluggish bottom-dwelling scavenger, is in fact a master of opportunism. Its diet is astonishingly diverse, shaped by both the scarcity and unpredictability of food in the deep Arctic seas. These sharks consume a wide array of prey, ranging from fish such as Arctic cod, capelin, and redfish, to larger marine mammals including seals, beluga whales, narwhals, and even the occasional polar bear. Remains of reindeer and caribou, likely drowned while crossing frozen rivers, have also been found in their stomachs, highlighting the shark's ability to exploit any available food source. The Greenland shark's primary hunting method is stealth. Its slow, silent movement and dark coloration allow it to blend seamlessly into the murky depths. This camouflage, combined with an acute sense of smell, enables the shark to ambush sleeping or unsuspecting prey, particularly seals that rest in the water column. By approaching quietly from below, the shark can strike before its prey has a chance to react. Scavenging, however, remains a crucial part of the Greenland shark's feeding strategy. The ocean floor is littered with the remains of animals that have perished above: whale falls, seal carcasses, drowned terrestrial mammals, all of which become vital sources of nutrition. The shark's stomach is a deep-sea archive containing everything from fish bones to entire marine mammals, reflecting the ecosystem's cycles of life and death. This dual strategy, ambush predation and scavenging, allows the Greenland shark to thrive in an environment where food is unpredictable and often scarce. It cannot afford to be selective. Every meal, whether fresh or decaying, is a lifeline in the frigid depths. In contrast, the polar bear is the undisputed ruler of the Arctic ice. Its diet is dominated by ringed and bearded seals, which it hunts with extraordinary patience and skill. Polar bears rely on sea ice as a platform for hunting, waiting motionless at breathing holes or breaking through the ice to surprise seals resting below. Their powerful sense of smell can detect prey from kilometers away, and their immense strength allows them to drag even large seals onto the ice. While seals are their primary prey, polar bears are also known to consume walrus calves, beluga whales, and the occasional carcass of a whale or narwhal stranded on the shore. In times of scarcity, they may scavenge bird eggs, fish, or even vegetation, but these are poor substitutes for the fat-rich blubber that fuels their survival. The ecological impact of these two predators is profound. Greenland sharks act as the Arctic's cleanup crew, recycling nutrients and preventing the buildup of dead matter on the ocean floor. By consuming a wide range of species, they help maintain the balance of the deep-sea ecosystem. Polar bears, on the other hand, regulate seal populations and influence the distribution of marine mammals across the ice. Their hunting activities shape the structure of the Arctic food web, and their carcasses, when they die, become food for scavengers like the Greenland shark. Together, these apex predators embody the resilience and adaptability required to survive in the Arctic. Their diets are not just a reflection of what is available, but a testament to the intricate connections that sustain life in one of the planet's most unforgiving environments. The Greenland shark and the polar bear, each a master of its domain, demonstrate that in the Arctic, survival depends on flexibility, ingenuity, and an unyielding drive to seize every opportunity the ice and sea provide. The discovery of a polar bear jawbone in a Greenland shark's stomach was the spark that ignited the debate. But the theory of active predation is built on more than just a single bone. Over the years, several cases have emerged where polar bear remains, bones, fur, and even fresh tissue have been found inside Greenland sharks, raising questions about the true nature of these encounters. The theory is built on opportunity, capability, and a rapidly changing environment. As Arctic ice recedes, polar bears are forced to swim longer distances between flows, increasing their exposure to the open ocean, territory where the Greenland shark reigns. A healthy adult polar bear on solid ice is untouchable, an apex predator in its own domain. But the ice is vanishing, and with it, the bear's safety. In the water, the polar bear is transformed from hunter to potential prey. Scientific observations have noted that polar bears, while strong swimmers, are not as agile or fast in the water as they are on land or ice. While they are capable of covering vast distances, their swimming style is slow and energy-intensive, making them vulnerable to aquatic predators. In the open ocean, a swimming bear could be at risk, especially from an ambush predator attacking from the unseen depths below. Some scientists theorize that the Greenland shark, with its stealthy approach and immense size, could exploit this vulnerability. Proponents of the predation theory point to the shark's proven ability to hunt live seals, animals that are highly adapted to aquatic life and far more agile than a swimming bear. If a Greenland shark can successfully ambush a sleeping or distracted seal, then the idea of it targeting a polar bear, especially a young or weakened one, gains credibility. The element of surprise is the shark's greatest weapon. Scientific theories suggest that the shark's slow, stealthy movements allow it to approach undetected, striking from below with devastating force. A polar bear, focused on its destination or hunting for its own prey at the surface, would likely be completely unaware of the silent, 20-foot giant ascending from the darkness. The shark's corkscrew feeding method, using its powerful body and sharp lower teeth to carve out flesh, would be devastatingly effective against the thick blubber and muscle of a bear. In several documented cases, polar bear remains found in shark stomachs showed signs of fresh wounds, supporting the idea of active predation rather than scavenging. The victims, however, are most likely not large, healthy adults. Scientific analysis of remains suggests that the sharks would target more vulnerable individuals. The theory proposes that young cubs, sick, injured, or elderly bears are at greatest risk. These individuals are less capable of defending themselves and more likely to be caught off guard. A young, inexperienced cub separated from its mother, a sick or injured bear, or an old animal weakened by age would all make for a much easier target. A bear exhausted from a long swim in rough seas would also be at a significant disadvantage, its energy reserves depleted and its reactions slowed. For the Greenland shark, the energy cost of attacking a weakened or vulnerable bear is much lower, and the risk of injury is far less than confronting a healthy adult. The discovery of a young polar bear's jawbone specifically supports this idea. In one notable case, the jawbone belonged to a cub, not a full-grown adult. A fully grown bear, even if taken by surprise, would be a formidable opponent capable of inflicting serious damage on the shark. Most scientific theories agree that only the most vulnerable bears are likely to fall victim. Furthermore, the very nature of the evidence found, fresh tissue and skin in some cases, could be interpreted as a sign of a recent kill rather than scavenging an old carcass. Some scientists argue that the presence of undigested, fresh remains points to predation. While this is not definitive proof, it adds weight to the argument. The debate continues, with some researchers suggesting that the frequency of such finds may increase as climate change forces more bears into the water. The image is a chilling one, the Arctic's greatest land predator forced into the water by its own hunt for food or by a changing landscape, becoming the prey of an ancient, silent hunter from the abyss. It represents a dramatic role reversal, a clash of two apex predators where the advantage shifts dramatically with the environment. Scientific theories continue to evolve as more evidence is gathered. The question is no longer could a Greenland shark kill a polar bear, but under what specific circumstances would it happen? As the Arctic continues to change, the answer may become clearer and more frequent. While the idea of a Greenland shark hunting a polar bear is dramatic, the reality of their interactions is likely far more complex and nuanced than a simple predator-prey relationship. The majority of the scientific community leans toward a more mundane yet equally fascinating explanation, scavenging. But the Arctic is a place of endless surprises, and several alternative scenarios could explain the presence of polar bear remains in Greenland shark stomachs. The most widely accepted theory is that Greenland sharks act as the cleanup crew of the deep ocean, scavenging on whatever animal remains drift down from the ice above. Polar bears, like all Arctic animals, eventually succumb to the harsh environment, and their bodies become part of the marine food web. But what if the story is more complicated? For instance, polar bears sometimes die from intra-specific conflict. Young cubs can be killed by adult males, and fights over territory or mates can result in fatal injuries. These carcasses may then be carried by currents or ice flows, eventually sinking to depths where Greenland sharks patrol. Another scenario involves failed hunts. Polar bears sometimes target large prey like walruses, but a defensive walrus can inflict fatal wounds with its tusks. A mortally wounded bear may retreat to the ice, only to die later and eventually end up in the water. Starvation and drowning are also significant threats. As sea ice recedes, polar bears are forced to swim longer distances, sometimes succumbing to exhaustion or storms. Their bodies may drift for miles before finally sinking, becoming accessible to opportunistic sharks. In rare cases, a bear might die during a storm, overwhelmed by high waves and cold water. The Arctic's unpredictable weather can quickly turn a routine swim into a fatal ordeal. When a bear dies on an ice floe, the melting ice eventually releases the carcass into the ocean, where it sinks to the depths. Greenland sharks, with their slow metabolism and patient nature, are perfectly adapted to wait for such meals. The idea of a Greenland shark actively hunting a polar bear, even a weakened one, is unlikely. Polar bears are formidable animals, equipped with sharp claws and powerful jaws. A direct confrontation would be risky for the shark, potentially resulting in serious injury. In the slow-healing, infection-prone world of the deep Arctic, even a minor wound can be fatal for a shark. It makes far more sense for these ancient predators to conserve energy and wait for a risk-free meal. The logic of survival in the Arctic favors the path of least resistance. Scavenging is not only safer, but also more energy efficient for a creature with one of the slowest metabolisms in the animal kingdom. The evidence found in shark stomachs, often just a jawbone or partial remains, suggests scavenging of old or decomposed carcasses rather than the aftermath of a fresh kill. Even the presence of fresher tissue does not rule out scavenging. A bear could have died recently and sunk to a depth where a shark quickly found it, taking advantage of the opportunity. Without direct observation, an almost impossible feat in the vast icy depths, scavenging remains the most plausible and scientifically supported explanation. Yet the Arctic is a realm of mystery, and the true nature of these interactions may include a spectrum of scenarios, from opportunistic feeding to rare, desperate confrontations. In the end, the story of polar bears and Greenland sharks is one of survival, adaptation, and the intricate balance of life in one of the planet's harshest environments. The ancient rivalry between polar bears and Greenland sharks is entering a new era, one shaped by both environmental upheaval and scientific discovery. For centuries, these two Arctic titans have shared a realm of ice and water, their interactions shrouded in mystery and legend. But now, as the Arctic transforms, so too does the story of their ongoing contest. The dynamic between polar bears and Greenland sharks, whether as predator, prey, or scavenger, is not isolated. It is being reshaped by the most powerful force of our time, global climate change. The Arctic is warming at more than twice the rate of the rest of the planet, and the consequences are dramatic. The most visible impact is the rapid and accelerating loss of sea ice. For polar bears, sea ice is not just a platform to rest on, it is their primary hunting ground. They rely on the ice to stalk seals, their main source of food. As the ice vanishes, the bears' world is shrinking beneath their paws, forcing them to adapt in ways that may increase their vulnerability. With less ice to walk on, polar bears are spending more and more time in the water. They are being forced to swim longer distances, to find new hunting grounds, or to simply reach solid ground. These long-distance swims are incredibly taxing, burning through the bear's vital fat reserves. An exhausted bear is a vulnerable bear. This increase in time spent swimming directly increases the potential for encounters with Greenland sharks. The boundary that once separated their worlds, the solid sea ice, is becoming more permeable. The open ocean, once a temporary transit zone for the bear, is now a more frequent and prolonged habitat, and it is the shark's home turf. This new reality could potentially shift the balance in the predation versus scavenging debate. While a healthy bear on ice is safe, a bear weakened by a 100-mile swim in choppy cold seas is a much more tempting target for an opportunistic predator. Climate change is, in effect, creating more vulnerable bears. The incidence of drowning is also likely to increase as bears are caught in open water during storms. This, in turn, means more polar bear carcasses will sink to the ocean floor, providing more scavenging opportunities for the sharks. In either scenario, the interactions, whether predatory or not, are destined to become more common. The Greenland shark, living in the stable environment of the deep ocean, may be more insulated from the immediate effects of surface warming, but it is not immune. Changes in ocean currents and temperature could affect the distribution of its prey and alter its habitat in the long term. But in the short term, the plight of the polar bear may present an ironic boon for the shark. As the king of the ice struggles, the ancient sleeper shark may find its table more frequently set. Recent scientific discoveries are shedding new light on this relationship. Researchers have begun to document more frequent interactions between these two species using underwater cameras and tracking devices. Evidence of polar bear remains in the stomachs of Greenland sharks, and rare footage of underwater encounters suggests that the sharks may be more than just passive scavengers. They could, at times, be active participants in this rivalry. Genetic studies have revealed that Greenland sharks are among the longest-lived vertebrates on Earth, with some individuals estimated to be over 400 years old. This incredible longevity means that a single shark may witness centuries of Arctic change, adapting slowly to shifts in prey availability and environmental conditions. Meanwhile, polar bears are being observed adapting their hunting strategies, sometimes targeting alternative prey or scavenging more frequently as their traditional seal hunts become less reliable. These behavioral shifts may bring them into closer contact with Greenland sharks, especially in the open water and along the ice edge. The unfolding climate crisis is writing a new, uncertain chapter in the relationship between these two Arctic icons, one that highlights the complex and often brutal interconnectedness of all life in a changing world. As science continues to uncover the secrets of their rivalry, one thing is clear: the fate of the polar bear and the Greenland shark is now more entwined than ever before. The extraordinary longevity of Arctic wildlife, particularly the Greenland shark and the polar bear, is not just a curiosity. It is a subject of intense scientific research with profound implications for our understanding of aging and survival in extreme environments. How do these remarkable animals manage to thrive for decades or even centuries in one of the harshest climates on Earth? The answers are hidden deep within their genetic codes and physiological adaptations, shaped by millennia of evolution in the Arctic. Scientists are actively sequencing and studying the genomes of both the Greenland shark and the polar bear to uncover the biological mechanisms that protect them from the ravages of time and environmental stress. These Arctic survivors must possess incredibly robust defenses against age-related diseases, cellular damage, and the cumulative effects of their challenging habitats. The longer an animal lives, the more cell divisions occur, increasing the statistical probability of mutations, including those that can lead to cancer. One key area of interest is the TP53 gene, a crucial component in the defense against cancer, found in both Greenland sharks and polar bears. This gene, often called the guardian of the genome, plays a critical role in preventing cancer by monitoring and repairing DNA damage. The TP53 gene can halt the cell cycle to allow for DNA repair or trigger apoptosis, programmed cell death in cells that are damaged beyond repair, effectively eliminating potential tumors before they can form. Research has revealed that the Greenland shark possesses unique variations of the TP53 gene, as well as other genes related to DNA repair, tumor suppression, and cellular stability. Polar bears, too, show adaptations in genes related to stress response and cellular maintenance. Understanding how these genes function in Arctic wildlife could provide invaluable insights into the prevention of age-related diseases and the maintenance of cellular health over long lifespans. Beyond cancer resistance, scientists are investigating the incredibly slow metabolism of the Greenland shark and the adaptive metabolic strategies of polar bears, both of which are closely linked to longevity. The cold, stable environment of the Arctic certainly plays a role, but it is the genetic blueprint of these animals that dictates how their bodies respond to such extreme conditions. Scientists are examining genes related to heart rate, metabolic processes, and cellular aging in both species to piece together the full puzzle of Arctic longevity. While it is highly unlikely that longevity genes from these Arctic animals could be directly transferred to other species, their study illuminates fundamental pathways of aging and resilience that are shared across the animal kingdom. The Greenland shark and the polar bear, therefore, hold more than just the secrets of Arctic survival. They may hold clues to a longer, healthier life for all complex organisms. In 2021, a project successfully assembled the complete Greenland shark genome, and ongoing research continues to decode the polar bear's genetic secrets, providing vital resources for scientists worldwide. By studying these living relics, we are not just learning about fascinating animals, but about the very nature of life's endurance in the face of adversity. We are gaining a deeper understanding of the fundamental processes of life and death, of aging and resilience as written in the DNA of Arctic giants. The ancient sleeper shark and the mighty polar bear, gliding silently through the Arctic darkness, have witnessed centuries of natural history. Now these Arctic titans may offer us a glimpse into the ultimate secrets of longevity, a final profound twist in the tale of the frozen North. Beneath the silent auroras and drifting ice, the Arctic food web weaves a complex tapestry of survival and interdependence. At its apex, the polar bear reigns above the ice, while deep below, the Greenland shark drifts through shadowy waters, two ancient predators, each shaping the balance of life in their own domain. The polar bear's world is sculpted by the ebb and flow of sea ice. Here, ringed seals and bearded seals form the cornerstone of its diet. Stealthy and powerful, the bear waits at breathing holes or stalks the ice edge, preying upon seals whose blubber sustains it through the leanest months. But the bear's influence reaches further. As it scavenges whale carcasses or hunts young walruses, it redistributes nutrients across the frozen landscape, feeding scavengers like Arctic foxes and gulls. Far below, the Greenland shark plays a subtler but no less critical role. Moving through the inky depths, it preys on a wide range of marine life, fish, squid, and even the occasional seal that ventures too deep. As a slow-moving scavenger, the shark cleans the ocean floor, consuming carrion and preventing the buildup of decaying matter. This helps maintain water quality and supports the health of the entire Arctic marine ecosystem. Both predators are intimately tied to the fate of their prey. The abundance of seals, fish, and other marine life is shaped by smaller organisms, zooplankton and phytoplankton, that form the food web's base. These microscopic life forms bloom with the return of the sun, nourishing countless Arctic cod and crustaceans, which in turn sustain seals, birds, and fish-eating whales. This intricate web is finely balanced. A decline in one species reverberates throughout the system. If seal populations drop, polar bears must travel farther or turn to alternative food sources, sometimes scavenging more or risking starvation. If fish stocks dwindle, the Greenland shark's slow metabolism becomes an advantage, allowing it to endure scarcity, but also threatening its long-term survival if the food web collapses. Even in the absence of humans, this fragile equilibrium is subject to natural forces, ice cycles, predation and competition. Each species, from the tiniest copepod to the mighty bear and ancient shark, plays a role in the Arctic's ongoing story. The interconnectedness of predator and prey, scavenger and sustainer, ensures the resilience of life in one of Earth's most inhospitable realms. As the polar bear treads the ice and the Greenland shark glides through the deep, they are more than isolated hunters. They are keystones in a living network. Their survival is inseparable from the health of the entire Arctic ecosystem, a reminder that in the frozen North, every life is part of a greater whole. The Arctic, once a realm of enduring cycles, now finds itself at the mercy of a rapidly warming world. As temperatures rise, the ancient balance that sustains both polar bears and Greenland sharks is shifting beneath their feet and fins. For the polar bear, the retreat of sea ice is a relentless adversary. Each year, the ice melts sooner and forms later, shrinking the bear's hunting grounds. With less ice to traverse, polar bears are forced to swim longer distances between flows, expending precious energy. Some become stranded on land, far from their preferred prey, the seals that berth and rest on the frozen platform. Here, the bear's powerful physique and keen instincts are pitted against hunger and exhaustion. As their traditional hunting season shortens, mothers struggle to nourish their cubs, and the survival of future generations is cast into doubt. Beneath the waves, the Greenland shark faces a quieter but equally profound upheaval. Warmer waters alter the distribution of prey, drawing fish and squid away from their historic ranges. The slow-moving shark, adapted to the coldest depths, must now venture farther or deeper to find sustenance. Its ancient metabolism, once a shield against scarcity, may become a vulnerability if the ocean's rhythms are disrupted beyond repair. The ripple effects of climate change extend through every layer of the Arctic food web. Melting ice reduces the habitat for algae, the foundation of the marine ecosystem. Without this rich resource, zooplankton populations falter, and the cod, crustaceans and seals that depend on them begin to dwindle. Migratory birds arrive to find fewer fish, while whales and walruses face shifting feeding grounds. As prey becomes scarce, competition intensifies. Scavengers search in vain for carrion, and predators risk starvation or increased conflict. Yet the changes are not uniform. Some species adapt, moving northward or altering their diets. Others, less resilient, fade from the landscape, their absence echoing through the ecosystem. The interconnectedness that once ensured resilience now magnifies vulnerability. Each loss reverberates, making recovery ever more elusive. In this unfolding drama, the polar bear and Greenland shark remain icons of Arctic endurance. But their survival is no longer assured by ancient instincts alone. They are barometers of a changing world, sentinels that reveal both the fragility and the tenacity of life at the edge of the frozen earth. As the ice thins and the currents shift, the story of the Arctic is being rewritten. In the silence beneath the auroras, the giants of ice and shadow face an uncertain future, one shaped not by age-old rivalries, but by the relentless advance of climate's invisible hand. In the relentless chill of the Arctic, life is a test of adaptation, a contest not just of strength or cunning, but of the very architecture of survival. Here the polar bear and the Greenland shark reign as living blueprints of evolution's response to cold, each sculpted over millennia to endure where few others can. For the polar bear, the battle against the elements begins with its iconic fur. Each strand is hollow, trapping insulating air close to the skin. Beneath this dense coat, a thick layer of fat, sometimes over 4 inches deep, provides vital warmth and buoyancy, shielding the bear from temperatures that plummet far below freezing. Even the bear's black skin absorbs the faintest heat from the winter sun, maximizing every precious degree. Their powerful paws, wide and furred, act as snowshoes over drifting ice, while sharp, curved claws anchor their grip on slippery surfaces. Nostrils can close to keep out icy water during long swims, and small, rounded ears minimize heat loss. When the wind howls, polar bears curl into tight balls, covering their faces with massive paws, reducing exposed surface area and conserving energy until the storm passes. Beneath the waves, the Greenland shark's strategy is more subtle, but no less remarkable. Its flesh contains high concentrations of trimethylamine oxide, a compound that prevents ice crystals from forming in its tissues, acting as a natural antifreeze. This adaptation allows the shark to thrive at depths where temperatures hover just above freezing, waters inhospitable to most other fish. The shark's metabolism is astonishingly slow, a pace set by the frigid environment. It moves with unhurried grace, conserving energy for the long silent hunts that may span hours or even days. Its eyesight is poor, but an acute sense of smell and specialized sensory organs detect the faintest vibrations, clues to hidden prey in the dark, icy depths. Both predator and prey have learned the rhythms of the freeze. Polar bears time their hunting to the ebb and flow of sea ice, following the seals that depend on its shifting borders. Greenland sharks, in turn, capitalize on the cold's preservative power, scavenging carcasses that remain edible for months in the deep freeze. In this world sculpted by ice, every breath, every movement is a testament to adaptation. The bear and the shark are masters of the freeze, each uniquely equipped to turn the Arctic's bitter embrace into a sanctuary. Their survival is not just a triumph of biology, but a living legacy of resilience written in fur and flesh, muscle and molecule, against the endless winter night. Beneath the unbroken sheet of Arctic ice lies a world largely unseen, a vast, shadowy abyss where sunlight fades to nothing and the familiar rules of life are rewritten. Here, in the inky darkness, the Greenland shark drifts through a realm as alien as the surface of another planet, but it is not alone. The seafloor is a tapestry of strange life shaped by crushing pressures and perpetual cold. Bioluminescent creatures pulse with eerie blue and green light, painting ghostly patterns through the gloom. Jellyfish with delicate trailing tendrils drift like phantoms, while amphipods, tiny crustaceans, scuttle across the sediment, scavenging what little food the deep brings. For the Greenland shark, these depths are both hunting ground and sanctuary. It glides silently past forests of soft corals and sponges. Some centuries old, their slow growth a testament to the patience demanded by the cold. Now and then, the shark crosses paths with other denizens of the deep. The long-lived Greenland halibut, the mysterious Arctic skate, and the ancient armored wolffish. Nutrients are scarce, so every morsel is precious. Dead whales, seals, and fish, carried down from the sunlit world above, become banquets for an entire ecosystem. The shark's powerful jaws and keen sense of smell help it locate these rare feasts, while smaller scavengers gather in its wake, feeding on leftovers. Yet life here is not just about survival. It's about endurance, adaptation, and the slow, steady pulse of evolution. Many Arctic deep-sea species, like the Greenland shark, live astonishingly long lives, moving slowly, growing gradually, and conserving energy in the relentless cold. Scientists are just beginning to uncover the secrets of this hidden world. Remotely operated vehicles capture glimpses of new species and ancient life forms, hinting at mysteries still buried in the abyss. Each discovery reminds us that the Arctic's true depths are not just measured in meters, but in the layers of life and time woven beneath the ice. In this silent, frozen darkness, the Greenland shark is both sentinel and survivor, a living witness to a realm where time moves at the pace of glaciers, and every heartbeat is a victory against the void. In the fragile expanse of the Arctic, the struggle for survival extends far beyond ancient predators and elusive prey. Here, conservation is a silent force, woven into the icy currents, the shifting ice flows, and the delicate balance of life beneath and above the surface. Both the Greenland shark and the polar bear stand as icons of this wilderness, their fates entwined with the health of an entire ecosystem. Scientists, guided by curiosity and urgency, delve into the mysteries of these Arctic giants through remote observation and cutting-edge technology. Acoustic tags trace the sharks' ponderous journeys along the seafloor, revealing migration routes once hidden by darkness. Satellite collars track polar bears as they roam across melting ice, mapping the shrinking boundaries of their hunting grounds. Genetic studies unlock secrets of resilience, how the Greenland shark's slow metabolism shields it from disease, or how polar bears adapt to changing prey and thinner ice. Yet the challenges are immense. Climate change continues to erode the polar bear's icy domain, forcing them to swim longer distances in search of seals and shelter. In the deep, warming waters threaten to disrupt the Greenland shark's ancient rhythms, shifting food webs and inviting new predators into their realm. Conservation efforts, though often invisible, ripple through the Arctic's veins. International agreements protect vast stretches of ocean from unregulated fishing and industrial disturbance. Marine protected areas become sanctuaries, safeguarding critical habitats and migration corridors. Research vessels braving the polar night gather data to guide future action, each sample, each sonar reading, a piece of the puzzle. But the true guardians of the Arctic are its inhabitants, the Greenland shark, gliding through centuries of change, and the polar bear, enduring on thinning ice, are living barometers of the ecosystem's health. Their survival ensures the survival of countless others, from the tiniest amphipod to the majestic narwhal, each thread vital to the tapestry of Arctic life. In the end, the story of conservation in the Arctic is one of connection, predator and prey, ice and ocean, science and survival, all bound together in a delicate dance. As the world awakens to the fragility and the wonder of this frozen frontier, the call to protect it grows ever louder. The future of the Greenland shark and the polar bear, and the countless lives they touch, depends on what we choose to do next.